inside, on the inside, I don't care which side. I didn't get to choose which one is the wrong or bad side. I'm moving forward, I'm no longer in the cracks, no longer on the railroad tracks. I'm moving to the front, I don't belong way in the back. Onward.
Hey guys, what's up? Happy Friday and welcome back. Thanks so much for tuning in this week for another episode of the BMuz Reviews podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Musica. As always, we're going to analyze, review, and discuss the latest news and dive into the past regarding movies, music, video games, and much, much more. If you don't already, be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at BMuz Reviews, and tune into the BMuz Reviews podcast each week on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, and all other streaming platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, we thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and to hit the bell icon to receive notifications that informs you exactly when our podcast goes live, as well as all other video content. Also, be sure to visit our website at www.musicaprojects.com. There you will find all important links to our latest podcast episodes, new projects currently available, and also previews of those currently in development, along with our latest blog posts. If there's a question or a topic that you'd like us to discuss on the podcast, send them to bmuzreviews@gmail.com with podcast question/topic in the subject line. With all that out of the way, let's not waste any more time and get right to this week's news. Welcome everyone to the BMuz Reviews podcast. All right, and welcome back. As promised, I said I would get another episode to you guys while currently away on vacation. And as you guys listen to this episode, just know that I'm on a boat, on a lake, thinking about you guys. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, guys, for another episode. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right to this week's news. Catching up on a few news articles that we missed out while we were away the past few months. A bunch of news came out, but three topics that I want to talk about specifically before we get to the reviews on this week's episode. One being an update in the Ezra Miller saga. The saga of Ezra Miller. We don't talk about Ezra, but today we are. So the latest, Warner Brothers reportedly is looking to pause all future projects of the Flash star Ezra Miller. No shocker at all there. No shocker. It does not come as a surprise at all due to his recent behavior. And it's all detailed in a recent report by Geek Tyrant, and I quote, Ezra Miller's recent behavior has reportedly caused Warner Brothers executives to hold an emergency meeting to discuss the actor and his projects with the studio. The actor has two big films coming out soon, The Flash and one that recently came out, Fantastic Beasts. This meeting took place after word got out that Miller burst into a couple's room while staying in Hawaii and threatened to burn them. Good God. Yikes, what the... Anyway, continuing on here, was not ready for that one. I quote, Stoyan Kujokarov and his wife, Nigel Hayes, filed a temporary restraining order against Miller because of that. This took place after Miller had an altercation at a karaoke bar in Hawaii when he was arrested for disorderly conduct, end quote. Now, these are all incidents that we detailed in the episode. We don't talk about Ezra, I believe, and we went into detail about what he had done specifically. I did not know about the threats, specifically with the details of the threats. I knew the threats were made to the couple that he had been staying with for whatever reason, and wow, that is just... I mean, yeah, we will not be doing any future project at this time with this individual. I hope you can understand. Yeah, no, we get it. We just don't understand what took you so long. Wow. Continuing with the report here, though, I quote, according to a report from Rolling Stone, with everything going on, the studio is looking to pause any future projects Miller had in the works, and they are looking to cancel any public appearances involving the actor. End quote. And that is why we did not see him at San Diego Comic-Con, and why we will not see him most likely for any press events if this movie even does come out. Continuing on here, the last bit of this article, I quote, an insider also revealed that Miller had, quote, frequent meltdowns during the production of The Flash, and that he was, quote, losing it on set, but his actions were not violent. A source said, quote, Ezra would get a thought in their head and say, I don't know what I'm doing, end quote. Wow. Wow. You know, I don't know the situation of what, I just know, obviously, this individual is avoiding law enforcement, which is never a good thing. It's never something that you should look to do, ever. Ill-advised. But regardless of that, and regardless of past occurrences and all of these threats and all that stuff, obviously the individual, Ezra, is going through some sort of mental breakdown trauma. I mean, I'm not a doctor, I'm not going to assess or pinpoint, but obviously to even look to proceed with such action, do the things that he's doing, it's obviously the engine's on, but nobody's behind the wheel. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, he's going through something, and it's unfortunate. But hope the situation's resolved, and that everything is smooth sailing from here on out. Hope all the best. That's all you can really do at this point. But just want to update you guys on that. Ezra Miller, no future projects. The Flash movie. It's unfortunate too, because a lot of people put a lot of hard work into this movie, and even Michael Keaton, you know, he did not have to come back for the role of Batman for the movie. He did. It's really unfortunate, because the movie's probably really good, really good, and it's going to be tough for a lot of fans to even, you know, to muster the motivation to go see it. It's a shame. It's definitely a shame. But, well, what are your thoughts? Write to us. Let us know what your thoughts are on this whole situation. If you're watching on YouTube, comment below. Let us know what you think. And what should Warner Brothers do? Should The Flash come out? Do you have any motivation? Do you have any interest in seeing the movie? What are your thoughts? Let us know. In our next topic today, in our last bit of news before we get into our movie reviews here, Bill Skarsgard, who has been on the map since his role as Pennywise the Clown in It. The dude has just been on a roll and a tear. He's a great young talent, and always looking forward to seeing any new opportunities he gets to be on this big screen. And we've got our news here regarding just that. This article comes from the Hollywood Reporter, and I quote, Bill Skarsgard, who played Pennywise the Clown in the It horror movies, will star in the reboot of the supernatural revenge thriller that will be directed by Rupert Sanders, best known for helming Snow White and the Huntsman and Ghost in the Shell. Longtime Crow steward Edward R. Pressman and Malcolm Gray, a co-producer of the 2019 Chadwick Boseman thriller 21 Bridges, are producing. Crow was an indie comic written and drawn by James O'Barr in the late 1980s that told the dark tale of a man and his fiancée who are assaulted and killed by a gang after the couple's car breaks down. The man is resurrected by a crow and exacts revenge on those who took his life and the life of his love. End quote. Man, this is going to be nuts. It may come as a surprise. You can judge me all you want. I've actually never seen the original Crow movie. It has been on my watch list for the longest time. While traveling for vacation, I may have to just go out of my way to add that to my list for me to watch. But definitely looking forward to seeing this. Bill Skarsgård, an amazing talent. Definitely looking forward to seeing him in this role. Bill Skarsgård is going to be the villain in the new John Wick movie, John Wick Chapter 4. Now also going to star as the Crow in this upcoming reboot. I'm telling you, ever since playing Pennywise, he's been on the map, and the dude is just on a tear. He also has another movie coming out. I'm just thinking about it now. I saw the trailer before seeing Nope, called Barbarian. It's another horror film that he's going to be starring in, alongside Justin Long and can't remember the other the lead actress in the movie. Can't remember her name off the top of my head, but Definitely check out that trailer if you haven't seen it already. It's called Barbarian. The trailer looks insane. Especially if you're into horror films, definitely want to check it out. I believe it comes out September 9th. So definitely want to look forward to. I'm definitely going to be there, opening night. Check that one out. Bill Skarsgard, Justin Long. Apologies for not remembering the lead actress's name off the top of my head. Yeah, looking forward to seeing that film and looking forward to seeing all future projects that Bill Skarsgård has coming up. All right, now getting to our movie reviews. The first one today, catching up on our movie reviews since we've been away. We got to see a lot of movies while we were on our hiatus, but just wanted to touch base on our thoughts for each movie that we had gotten the chance to recently see. The first being The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, starring Nicolas Cage as Nick Cage. Man, this movie was just fantastic. Also with Pedro Pascal and Tiffany Haddish being in it. I mean, the movie was hysterical. Really enjoyed this film. Got invited to an early screening by Lionsgate, so thank you again, Lionsgate, for that. I really enjoyed the opportunity to see this film. It was just fantastic. Very well done. Really enjoyed the story, the concept. I wasn't really, obviously, watching the trailer, the concept. An action-packed comedy that stars Nick Cage playing himself, but just him channeling the different iconic characters, as he's just with his companion in the movie and super fan Pedro Pascal. It was a completely unique dynamic that was created, and the comedy just in the movie. I was in tears several times while watching the film. I was in tears, just crying, laughing. If you have not seen this film already, definitely recommend checking it out as soon as you can. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is one that you should not miss. It definitely brings the juice for sure. Now, next movie on the list to review here, The Northman. Came out in April, I believe. This movie, Robert Eggers' film, starring Alexander Skarsgård, Nicole Kidman, Ethan Hawke, Anya Taylor-Joy, Willem Dafoe, you name it. This movie was absolutely brutal. Brutal film. Love the way it was shot, though. The cinematography in this film is amazing. It's amazing. Really, really enjoyed this film. One of my top 10 films of the year, no doubt. No doubt. An epic revenge tale. One that was really refreshing, too. There's many revenge tales that have been told on the big screen and in books brilliantly. But this was done in a very unique way, and this, like I said, the cinematography of this film really transcends your experience while watching it, and like I said, and it comes as no surprise coming from a visionary director such as Robert Eggers. This movie is just action packed, and it's an epic tale. Basically follows a young Viking prince on a quest to avenge his father's murder, and from beginning to end, you do nothing but root for this man to succeed in his mission. It is a brutal tale, as I said, but if you are a fan of just hardcore, action-packed revenge adventure movies, this is no doubt your movie. And I recommend to anyone checking this movie out for sure at least once. Do yourself a favor. It is an epic experience, and it's an epic journey to go on. I think you can watch it currently on Peacock, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely not one to miss. Brings the juice for sure. It is just it's unique in all the ways, but definitely one that is BMuz Reviews approved as well, for sure. Now, next on our list, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'll tell you what, A24 as a studio, they are on a roll. When the first A24 film that I had ever had the chance to see was Midsummer, and that movie, I'll just say, was not for me. It was not for me. But as a studio, from what I've seen them release since then, just the diverse stories, and also like it's great to see the representation in their films as well, and just the creativity that the studio has brought to the big screen has been entirely refreshing, and that is an understatement when it comes to this movie. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is one of, if not the most unique films I've ever seen in my life, and one of the most enjoyable movie theater experiences I've had in a long time. This movie is fantastic. If you have not seen this film yet, please do yourself a favor. I believe it's being re-released in theaters very soon if it's not already. Check for showtimes at your local theater. Check back if it's not already playing. You know, you can look online to see where it is playing near you, when it's playing near you. Do not miss the chance to see this film in theaters. Do not miss the chance to see it in theaters. It's fantastic. This is one of, if not my favorite movie of the year so far. It's tough. It's tough. There's been a lot of great movies that's come out so far, but this movie was just so unique, and I honestly want to go see it again. It features an aging Chinese immigrant who is swept up in just this bizarre, insane adventure where she alone can save the world by simply exploring other universes that are connected with the lives that she could have led herself. And that's all I'm going to say. You've got to go. That alone does not even come close to the enormity of this film. It's amazing. It's definitely worth watching, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. If you have seen this film already, what did you think about it? Be sure to write to us and let us know your thoughts. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to comment below and let us know. Next on the list here, Top Gun Maverick. This movie is definitely a top 10 for the year. Directed by Joseph Kosinski and stars Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly, Miles Teller, John Hamm. This movie is fantastic. Getting the chance to see also Val Kilmer in the movie, wonderful. This movie was such an awesome experience in theaters as well. This has to be seen in theaters. That is the only way to watch it. If you're watching it at home, you better have the best quality surround sound and the biggest screen possible to put this movie on, because that is the only way to watch this film and to get the true experience of what this film brings to the table. It's fantastic. The way they shot this, what they went through to shoot this film, all the training and the preparation and the thousands of hours of aerial combat footage that they filmed, just with all real fighter pilots and real techniques being used, and it's just unbelievable, and it pays off times 10. This ramps it up to 11 and then some. Brings all the juice, backs up a truckload of Tropicana, 10 years worth. Because I don't know if they'll ever come out with another one of these movies. I don't know if they'll come up with a Top Gun 3. We'll hope and pray. We would love to see it. We will never be against it. But this movie alone, just the fact that it got made and what they went through to make it, it paid off brilliantly for them. The box office shows that as well. I think right now they're currently at $1.3 billion currently grossed. I mean, that's just staggering feat in itself. So kudos to them, 110% deserved. This movie's fantastic. More than 30 years after the first film, and I actually watched it recently for the first time before seeing the film. I had never seen the original Top Gun for the longest time. And that's one movie, I said that is one movie that I certainly regret not seeing sooner. But happy that I got a chance to see it. I got a chance to see this film in theaters, and I hope that you got the chance to see it in theaters as well. I know it's still playing. It's got about 4 or 5 showings a day. It's very popular, and it's still selling tickets each day and making a ton of money, as it should, because it's well-deserved. If you got a chance to see the film already, what did you think? Write to us. If you're watching on YouTube, let us know your thoughts. If you haven't got a chance to see it, do yourself a favor and go see Top Gun Maverick in theaters ASAP. Hey guys, just want to take a minute to give a major shout out and say thank you to the sponsor of this week's episode of the BMuz Reviews podcast, Marla Jean Boutique. If you are seeking a gift either for yourself or a loved one who finds value in handmade items, then look no further than Marla Jean Boutique. She has a collection of trendy handmade items including clothing, wine bags, jewelry, and much, much more. Use the promo code BMuzReviews10 at checkout to receive 10% off your entire purchase. Connect with Marla Jean Boutique on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Marla Jean Boutique, and be sure to visit their website at www.marlajeanboutique.com. And once again, be sure to use the promo code BMuzReviews10 at checkout to receive 10% off your entire purchase. And now, back to the podcast. All right, and next on the list, Jurassic World Dominion, the finale of the Jurassic Park / Jurassic World franchise story. And I'll tell you what, this movie has a lot of people talking crap about it. I will just come out and say I am definitely in the minority when I will say this. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I thoroughly enjoyed watching this film. The story certainly was not what I had expected, but with that being said, the entire time while watching the film, I was thoroughly entertained. I was glued to the screen the entire time. I was not bored at any point. It's a very entertaining film, and even though they made choices that I necessarily would not have made and certainly did not see them making, I respect and appreciate the creativity and the unique story that was told, and ultimately, I was satisfied with the end result. I really don't have any complaints about the movie specifically. If you didn't get a chance to see it, definitely recommend checking it out. I do believe that it's available in streaming. If it's not on like HBO, it should be on HBO Max or one of the streaming services that Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films are available on. Just getting the chance to see the original cast of Sam Neill and Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum, and then also meeting up with the new cast of Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, it was certainly really cool. And like I said, different story. Some people may hate it, some people may love it, some people may not care. Look, everyone has a different opinion, everyone has different perspectives, and that's what makes it great to discuss and be a film fan, because we all have different perspectives, we all have different ideas, different thoughts, opinions, and ideas that we may want to share, and we'll all see films differently. It makes it great to discuss ultimately, and that's what we encourage. So let us know what you thought. If you got the chance to see Jurassic World Dominion, what did you think about it? Did you love it? Did you not like it? Are you hoping that they make more films in the future? Are you hoping that they never make another one of these films again? What are your thoughts? Write to us and let us know. Next on the list here, we got to see Elvis, the latest movie directed by Baz Luhrmann and stars Austin Butler as Elvis Presley and Tom Hanks as the Colonel. This movie was fantastic. I loved this movie. Some people will say that it is a bit too long, and I can understand that. It is a bit long. It runs about 15 to 20 minutes. It runs about 15 to 20 minutes longer than it probably needs to, and I would agree with that. However, there's so much story to tell here, and I think the pacing, the editing is unique. The way this movie, you better strap in, because while sitting in the theater, this movie it's a ride. This movie rides like a roller coaster. The way it's bounces from time period to time period, 4 months here, 1 year here, 3 months here, another 2 weeks here, and it's all over the place. And it's because look at the life that man lived, and ultimately what led to the complicated relationship with he and his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, that's played by Tom Hanks, and that storyline alone is very interesting for those who do not know it. And I'm not going to go into it in too much detail. I hope that you get a chance to go see this film in theaters. It's still currently playing in theaters, and it's a brilliant biopic about the life of the American icon Elvis Presley, from his childhood to becoming just a rock star and a movie star across the board in the 50s, while maintaining that tough, complex relationship with, like I said. So definitely recommend seeing the film. Absolutely love this film. This screams Oscar. It's definitely going to be a heated battle, I think, for sure, between whoever takes home the Best Actor Oscar this year, between Austin Butler and Brendan Fraser. I know I haven't seen that movie, The Whale, yet, but I'm telling you right now, I have my hunch that it's going to be some Oscar buzz there. But a lot of good movies coming out, and this is certainly one of them. Definitely recommend getting the chance to see Elvis whenever you can. Next on the list here, The Black Phone. This was such an unexpected horror film that was just delighting. This was an intense, anxiety-inducing film that is about a child abductor, child killer, who abducts local children that are locked in a soundproof basement. And the main actor, a 13-year-old boy, starts receiving calls on a disconnected phone from the killer's previous victims, basically. And it's just, this movie is insane. Especially the time period. It takes place in Denver, Colorado during the late 60s, early 70s, I believe. And they nail that time period brilliantly. This is a dark film. The cinematography is brilliant. Scott Derrickson, the director of this film, also directed the first Doctor Strange film in the MCU, as well as the first Sinister film, which also stars Ethan Hawke. So the two reunited in this film. Ethan Hawke is the main villain, the child killer. Man, if you're a fan of Ethan Hawke, you have got to see this film. No doubt about it. This is a must-see if you're an Ethan Hawke fan. Even if you're not, if you're just a fan of horror films, or even if you're not a fan of horror films, I definitely recommend seeing this film. This is an intense movie. It's based on a book that is written by Stephen King's son, Joe Hill. And it's just an intense ride. It's a different intense ride than Elvis. That is for sure. That's one thing I will say. So know that going into it, but definitely worth seeing for sure. Currently out in theaters, and one not to miss. All right, and last on the list here today, Thor: Love and Thunder, the latest installment to the MCU, directed by Taika Waititi, comes back to direct another Thor film here, along with Chris Hemsworth starring as Thor, Natalie Portman, and Christian Bale as the villain in this movie as Gore the God Butcher. A lot of people weren't happy with the film. Some people love the film. This is another one of those where they're 50-50 on it. A lot of times you're going to see that. Films are so subjective, but that's what makes it great for us to discuss and talk about. There were a lot of bold and unique choices that were made in this film. Some I think worked, some I don't think worked as much. But ultimately, I enjoyed this film. I did enjoy this film. I will say I did not enjoy this film as much as I enjoyed Thor Ragnarok. I still think that is the supreme #1 best Thor film that has come out to date. And I also think that the second best Thor film is still the original film directed by Kenneth Branagh, which is another one that I need to rewatch for sure. With that being said, I did enjoy this film while watching it. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher in the film. I was ultimately satisfied with what we got, and I don't think that necessarily the bashing on this movie is as warranted as it's been, but what are you going to do? Some people enjoy this film, but ultimately looking forward to seeing where Thor goes from here. Looking forward to seeing who Thor goes up against next, where he goes from here. Ultimately to see how he plays into the upcoming Avengers films as well, and all future projects that he may pop up in. Be on the lookout for that as well. Definitely go see the film if you haven't got a chance to see it. I wanted to talk on one last news article that came out a few months ago that we didn't get a chance to talk about. And that's that Jim Carrey has claimed that he's possibly retiring from acting. And these were comments that while he was doing press for his film Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And this article comes from Yahoo News, and I quote, Jim Carrey has claimed he is retiring from acting after his new film Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The actor has reprised the role of the villainous Robotnik in the sequel, and while promoting it, he expressed a desire to walk away from his profession. "Well, I'm retiring," he told Access Hollywood, adding, "Yeah, probably. I'm being fairly serious." The actor then said, "It depends," telling the outlet, "If the angels bring me some sort of script that's written in gold ink that says to me that it's going to be really important for people to see, I might continue down the road. But I'm taking a break." End quote. Explaining the reasoning for his possible retirement, Carrey said, "I really like my quiet life. I really like putting paint on canvas. And I really love my spiritual life. I feel like, and this is something you might never hear another celebrity say as long as time exists, I have enough. I've done enough. I am enough." Carrey has taken lengthy breaks from major acting roles in the past. His role in the first Sonic the Hedgehog film in 2020 was his first major role since the Dumb and Dumber sequel, which was in 2014. However, in that time, he had roles in smaller films such as The Bad Batch and Dark Crimes, as well as Showtime series Kidding, end quote. Which also, by the way, if you have not seen Kidding, definitely recommend seeing that on Showtime. Great series. 2 seasons. Definitely recommend checking it out. Very well done, and Jim Carrey is just fantastic in his performance, as he always is. It's definitely bittersweet to hear this news, but you know what? Hey, it's his life. He can do whatever he wants. We have gotten so much from Jim Carrey. It's always great to see, new things from him. But with it seems, with the opportunities that are coming his way, he's not satisfied with. And if that gold script does come his way, let's all hope it does. Then maybe we'll all get to see what he's able to do with it. But until then, we'll hope the best for him. And for some movies that you may have not gotten a chance to see from Jim Carrey, movie picks of his that are highly recommended. Obviously, the first Dumb and Dumber is an absolute classic, one of my favorite comedies of all time. Another one to check out, The Truman Show. Absolutely great film. Another great film to see, Man on the Moon, where he portrayed Andy Kaufman. Great film. Great performance in that as well. Another great movie from Jim Carrey to check out, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Definitely one to recommend to everybody. And lastly here, one of my personal favorites from Jim Carrey, and I think a very underrated film of his that's not talked about enough. I really love the story and what it entails. The Majestic. It's a great film. Definitely recommend checking that one out as well. Those are our picks for Jim Carrey movies. What are your thoughts on Jim Carrey film and his statement on retiring from acting possibly? What are some of your favorite Jim Carrey movies? Let us know your thoughts below if you're watching on YouTube, and be sure to write to us as well. Now, our last topic today, we're going to do another album review this week. This week, we're going to be talking about the Red Hot Chili Peppers' latest album, Unlimited Love, which came out recently this year. Another great album, and it just has that core, unique sound that the Red Hot Chili Peppers bring to the table. Really great tracks on this album as well. Another one that's just great to put on when you're driving a long distance or got somewhere to be. If you're going to be in traffic, great way to kill the time and to not think about all the cars and the people around you causing a bunch of nonsense. Put this album on, and you'll thank me later. Some tracks to definitely hear on the album and to not skip. You got to check out Here Ever After. Also check out She's a Lover. Another great track, Poster Child. And lastly here, Black Sunday, as well as These Are the Ways. Those are some of the tracks to definitely check out on this new album from Red Hot Chili Peppers entitled Unlimited Love, which recently came out again this year. If you have never gotten the chance to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers live in concert, do not miss your opportunity. They won't be touring forever, that's for sure, and they've even said that, obviously, most recently, that it's just getting tough for them physically with the amount of shows that they play and the length of shows that they play each night. It's a lot for them physically, and they're not getting any younger either. So we still love Red Hot Chili Peppers. The music still cranks just as it did when it originally came out and they debuted. It's definitely one to check out for sure, and be sure to check them out when they come by you locally. And that just about wraps up this installment of the BMuz Reviews podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Musica. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at BMuz Reviews, and be sure to listen every week on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, and all other streaming platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to receive notifications that inform you exactly when our podcast and all other videos are out. And as mentioned, be sure to visit our website, www.musicaprojects.com. There you'll find all the links to our social pages, links to our latest podcast episodes, and also be able to read our latest blog post as well. We'll be back next Friday with a new episode of the BMuz Reviews podcast, so stay tuned for more. And as always, in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.